Hi, this is the business guy, the CEO of the Lawyers Limited Law Firm and Asset Protection Planners. And today we're tackling why looking poor can keep you rich. So hang on tight, because I'm not talking about living in a cardboard box. I'm talking about being financially secure, but not flashing the cash in a way that's going to attract unwanted attention, namely lawsuits. And I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons why looking poor could definitely be your best decision. And I'm sure this is going to get a lot of comments, so subscribe if you haven't, and let's dive in. Reason number 1 is avoiding lawyers and snoops. I've been in the asset protection industry for 34 years, the CEO of the nation's largest asset protection firm, and I've seen what happens when wealth gets loud. It's like ringing a dinner bell for sharks. Lottery winners, for example, are poster children, you've probably heard it, for this kind of thing. A 2023 study from the National Endowment for Financial Education found that 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt within 7 years. Why? Because the minute their win hits the headlines, they're swarmed. Lawyers file bogus claims, relatives crawl out of the woodwork, and suddenly they're drowning in legal bills, and they don't have the background, the experience to know how to handle it. In fact, one guy in Ohio who won $50 million in 2019, within 1 year, he faced 15 lawsuits, including one from a cousin who claimed he, quote, owed him for a $20 loan plus interest from 1995. I mean, insane, right? Mark Cuban once said the worst part of getting rich was the lawyers. A constant barrage, he called it. And he's not wrong. I mean, wealth screams, sue me, to every ambulance chaser out there. So how do you dodge this? Hide it. At Lawyers Limited, we've perfected this with an asset protection trust, and not just any old U.S. trust that we've seen penetrated by U.S. courts day after day. The strongest tool is an international trust, and the best of all, the Cook Islands, south of Hawaii. So here's how it works. We set up a Cook Islands trust, we put a Cook Islands LLC inside of it, and we make you the manager. Now you keep full control, and then we use LLCs and privacy tools in addition to that to scrub your name from the public records. So nobody can Google you to see your properties, your business, or your cash. And if a legal attack comes, our licensed bonded trustee company law firm steps in, locks it down, and sends the sharks swimming elsewhere. I've set up more Cook Islands trust than anybody in the world, and trust me, it's bulletproof. Looking poor isn't a look, it's a shield. Reason number 2, it saves you money. Saves you money and boosts your happiness as well. It sounds crazy, but the science agrees. Ever heard of keeping up with the Joneses? It's real, and it's a trap. A 2018 University of Zurich study found that people who compare themselves to wealthier peers are 25% less happy. And another from the Federal Reserve in 2022 showed that 60% of Americans feel pressure to match their neighbor's spending. We're talking about cars, houses, vacations, you name it. And that's a recipe for misery and an empty bank account. Let me paint a picture. Say you're pulling in well over 6 figures. Maybe you just sold a rental property or landed a big client. The urge hits to upgrade, a flashy neighborhood, a BMW, a pool. Next thing you know, your neighbor rolls up in a Lamborghini, and suddenly you're Googling lease rates. In fact, I had a client, let's call him Greg, who did just that. He built a $4 million net worth, moved into a ritzy neighborhood, a suburb, and spent $800,000 in 2 years on, quote, upgrades to keep pace with the neighbors. New deck, new Tesla Model S Plaid, new everything. He told me, business guy, I hated it. I felt like a hamster on the wheel. Now contrast that with Sarah, worth $7 million, who lives in a $750,000 house on a lake hidden by trees and drives a 2020 Lexus. Now she's got a Cook Islands trust with us. Her wealth is invisible, and she's grinning ear to ear because she's not chasing status. And the data is clear. A 2021 Journal of Happiness Studies report found that people who live below their means are 18% more satisfied with life. Why? Because they're not bleeding cash. So how does the old saying go? People spend money they don't have to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. At Asset Protection Planners, we help you lock your wealth away out of sight, out of mind, and into a trust that's untouchable. You can touch it anytime you want to, but your enemies at law cannot. More money, more joy, less pressure. Who knew that looking poor could feel so rich? Number 3, looking poor repels the gold diggers. And I'm not just talking about spouses. I mean anybody who sniffs out money and wants a cut. A true story. In 2008, I helped a client sell his manufacturing business for $12 million. It had to do with medical equipment. The press release went live, and within a month, he had every financial advisor, charity, and long-lost friend pitching him. One guy, he tried to sell him a guaranteed ostrich farm investment, $1.5 million gone before we stepped in with the Cook Islands Trust. He still calls it his ostrich lesson. When wealth's public, you're a target. A 2022 Wealth X report says that high net worth individuals get hit with 17 unsolicited pitches a year. Triple that if you're flaunting it on social media. I met an angel investor last year who told me I tweeted that I'm funding startups, and now I've got 300 DMs coming in a week. My response, get off the radar. With our Cook Islands Trust with an LLC inside, your assets vanish from prying eyes and all the other structures we set up. You're the LLC manager calling the shots, but to the world, you're just another guy in a flannel. No gold diggers, no ostrich farms, just peace. We've set up more of these Cook Islands Trust than anybody globally, 30 years of proof that it works. Number 4, dodging stereotypes. Wealth changes how people see you, sometimes overnight. In fact, I had a client, Lisa, who went from teacher to millionaire after an inheritance. She bought a Mercedes. Her old friend started whispering, she's too good for us now. Even one asked, what's it like being one of those people? I mean, ouch. A 2019 Yale study found that 62% of folks assume rich people are less compassionate. Fair or not, that's the vibe. In fact, I've personally found that to be quite the opposite, frankly. A lot of wealthy people are quite generous and helpful and kind. And like they say, wealth doesn't change you. It just makes you more of what you already are. If you're inclined to be nice, now you have a lot of money. You can help a lot of people. You can be nicer. If you're inclined to be mean, you can now become a terror. If you're inclined to drink too much, you can now become a drunk because you can drink everything. It really makes you more of what you already are. So best to practice being kind, for those people who aren't wealthy yet, because that will carry on to when you do become wealthy, and it will compound. So there's the envy. Flash a Rolex at a picnic, and you're that guy or that gal. I saw it with my buddy worth $15 million who showed up to a reunion in a suit. Crickets all night. Next year, he wore a hoodie and bam, everybody's laughing with him. It's not about hiding. It's about blending. Plus, it's safer. The FBI's 2023 stats show that wealthy folks are 35% more likely to face theft or blackmail. So why risk it? With the Cook Islands Trust, your wealth's invisible. Our trustee company law firm steps in during a crisis, and you're just the chill LLC manager in jeans. No envy, no stereotypes, just you with all of your money intact that you can access anytime. And finally, number 5, satisfaction. Looking poor means you're satisfied, and that's the real win. Kurt Vogana told a story about his publisher pal in the Hamptons surrounded by billionaires. Doesn't it bug you that they earn more in a day than you ever will? Nope, he said. I've got enough. I mean, I love that. I mean, too many chase the jet set life and try to show everybody how well they're doing, and they end up hollow. A 2020 Gallup poll found that 48% of millionaires still stress about money because they're obsessed with the show. Take my client Paul, $9 million net worth, drives a 2014 Chevy, lives in a cabin. I'm not saying you have to go that far. But last year, a creditor came after him. Our Cook Islands trustee law firm stepped in, protected him, and Paul kept fishing by his lake, unbothered. He told me, hey, I don't need a yacht. I've got my kids and my peace. And that's it. Contrast that with the rich, miserable son of a gun who would blow a $10,000 a night at clubs and still feel empty. A 2021 Pew study says that 70% of self-made millionaires who live modestly report high life satisfaction. I mean, looking poor, it's not a sacrifice, it's confidence. And with 34 years and thousands of trusts under my belt, I can tell you, it's a smart play. So how do you pull this off? First of all, you audit your exposure. Search your name online and see what pops up. If it's properties or businesses, we can fix that with properly structured land trusts for privacy of ownership, LLCs, equity stripping, and an asset protection trust. Second, resist the splashy spending. Stats show that 85% of sudden wealth, like inheritances, vanish a decade after people flaunt it. Third, lean on the pros. At Lawyers Limited and Asset Protection Planners, we have attorneys on staff. We have the world's best track record. Your assets hide in an LLC. You're the manager, and our trustee company law firm is your legal bodyguard. Fourth, shift your mindset. Wear the sneakers, skip the Bentley, and enjoy the freedom. It's not about less. It's about more of what really matters. So there you go. 5 reasons why looking poor might be your best decision ever. It's protection, it's savings and satisfaction all wrapped into one. So what's your take? Drop a comment below. Love it, hate it. Tell me your story. If this hit home, like the video, share it with that friend who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more straight talk from me, the business guy with Asset Protection Planners. You can visit our website for more free info and contact us if you're serious about asset protection and privacy. We'll see you the next time.